Hello, my lovely rose garden. So, it's no secret to those of you who have been around for at least a couple of months that I tend to go through rebranding fairly often. It seems like once I get settled on one design, a few months later I'm switching it up and trying something new. And while this isn't necessarily a negative thing, it is something that requires considerable effort on my part and, let's be real, kind of is a negative thing when you're an indie author who is trying to sell yourself on your author brand. But what is author brand? What is brand in general? And how do we consume and produce brand? In this video, I will take you through my esoteric ramblings on the topic as I struggle in vain to justify that I am once again rebranding myself and my channel into something that I hope will capture the interest of the audience. I have no idea how long this video is going to be or if it will make any sense because I am doing everything unscripted now. So please do grab a drink and a snack and buckle in as I channel my inner ContraPoints, a name which I'm sure shall bring no controversy whatsoever into my comments, and discuss author brand. Now, as an indie author, the job of marketing my work falls squarely upon my shoulders. This is true even for many traditionally published authors, but more so even for indie authors. We are bearing the brunt of all of the costs of publishing, marketing, making ourselves sellable to the audience. And what sells best is usually simplicity. Now, this does not mean simplicity of product or simplicity of the brand itself. You can sell a lot of things on some pretty convoluted concepts and ideas. But the presentation of that is what needs to be simple. Usually, if you want a successful brand, you need to be able to sum up the general vibe of that brand within a sentence. And the shorter the sentence, the better that is. For example, you can sum up some of the biggest franchises in history with a pretty simple sentence, even if the product itself is rather long, convoluted, lore-heavy, etc. For example, you have Enemies to Lovers. This covers a wide range of stories. It covers a wide range of potential characters, conflicts, settings, etc. But it is sellable with a simple 3-letter structure. Enemies to lovers. Quick, clean, easy to digest. When you're an author, meaning a human person, it becomes a little less easy to both be simple in your branding and authentic. And that is where I seem to be struggling with identifying my brand because, as I used for this video, I put up some polls on Twitter and on YouTube with the 3 things that I generally think of as my brand. If I were to try to simplify my brand down into a quick phrase, I picked out 3 that I think are applicable. Gothic Queen, iconic. Bookish Mommy, hoops we stan. And nerdy best friend, or gay nerdy best friend, something like that. And I decided to also add in a combination option, an option for some combination of all these or something else. And people voted, and as I suspected, they voted largely for the combination option, because very rarely is a human being just one thing. And that's where marketing yourself as an indie author becomes difficult. Hell, even some traditionally published authors publish under multiple different pen names in order to protect that simplicity of brand. While Stephen King is known for a number of different genres by now, when he was primarily known as horror and thriller, he did publish some works under a pseudonym. The infamous J.K. Rowling and her tragic pen name of Robert Galbraith is also well known. The J.K. Rowling name is so strongly associated with the Harry Potter brand that trying to write anything other than Harry Potter wizard books under the name of J.K. Rowling would be kind of a disaster. Now, we can argue back and forth all day about why she chose the name Robert Galbraith for her alternative brand. Hint, it's the queerphobia. But the point remains. Selling yourself as a brand often comes down to staying consistent with one thing that you produce under that name. And this is not just my take on this. I have done a lot of research lately as I am trying to rebuild my author site and make my brand more cohesive. I have been researching a lot of self-help videos and Skillshare classes, not sponsored, on marketing yourself as an author, building your author brand. And one of the things that comes up in all of these videos is consistency. You need to be producing, if not the same forms of content, at least producing on a regular schedule, producing something that the audience can expect, because humans like things that conform to our expectations. It's a simple fact. Very few of us wholeheartedly enjoy being thrown curveballs every now and then. And I could go into some personal examples on that, but I won't. I will abstain for now. So this is now the issue. What part of myself do I present as my brand while remaining authentic to the whole that is a queer messy bitch? Now, I don't have the confidence to project my brand as queer messy bitch. It is certainly a brand and a choice that I respect, but it's not one that I think I can pull off because it is so much at odds with other facets of my personality. For instance, I am currently using very intellectual speak. I do like to be analytical and philosophical and have these kinds of discussions and debates where there is no clear right or wrong answer, merely people exchanging ideas in a space. And I am also given to end every sentence with some form of fuck, shit, or ass. Again, things that are completely at odds with trying to present a cohesive brand. Even right now, as I said, I am channeling my intercontrapoints, someone who is not me and does not have my experiences and is not something that I could consistently perform. But nonetheless, I find it entertaining, hopefully, and a bit of a power move to try to channel that sort of energy. But is it something that I could do for every video? Is it something that I could produce long term while still remaining authentic to my own vision? Probably not. So here we are at a standstill once again with me trying to figure out exactly what my brand is, what I can have my brand be long term, what can I continue to produce, what can I serve to my audience. And yeah, it's a complicated question and one that does not have any easy or 100% correct answer because people change. People are multifaceted. And trying to simplify that down into an easily digestible brand is not a simple task. So essentially, bear with me as I once again reorder my channel and my structure and my website and everything else associated with my online brand of Roselin Books as I try desperately to understand what exactly I can authentically produce as a long-term branding for my works. Oh, Rose Garden, it's going to be a summer for sure. But I hope that on the other side of things, we will come out with a clearer understanding of each other as both content producer and content consumer to understand what we're trying to accomplish here and what's going to work out best for me and what's going to be most entertaining for you. Keep waxing philosophical until next time, Rose Garden.